Hey, spiritual family. This is your girl, Solar Sass, with another Solar Sass transmission. I want to talk about accountability. I noticed that in the world that we live in, men and women alike have been teaching the children some really bad behaviors. And one of the bad behaviors that I've noticed was when women tell the boys, boys will be boys. Or even at times, I've heard women state, you're the man of the house. Wow. That's a heavy, that's a heavy load to place upon a 7-year-old. He's not the man of the house. He's actually a child in the house. You would have to find you a man of the house, young lady, because he's just a child. So no, he cannot be the man of the house. And let's talk about that statement. Boys will be boys. That statement is very controversial. It certainly doesn't allow for a young man to have any type of accountability if his behavior is terrible. And so, with that being said, I think we need to change the language and how we speak to the children that we are raising. And although these statements that I speak upon are I've heard from women, men can get more involved with things in terms of the raising of their children and the accountability levels of young men. A lot of these young men I am finding to be emotionally immature, extra aggressive, because I believe they're lacking guidance to some degree, of course. And of course, it's not all the young men, but let's address the young men that are doing this. I recently seen that video where the young lady was body slammed by a young man. And I even heard the comments that the mother made. And the comments were really disturbing. You know, I find it egregious that as a parent, when your child does do something that's harmful, that instead of you correcting the behavior, you side with the behavior, you co-sign with the behavior. That boys will be boys thing, you're on deck with that. And that behavior is the same behavior that have gotten a lot of young men incarcerated. We need to stop that. We need to address each other correctly, respectfully, and tell each other when we're doing something that's incorrect, because that's how we expand. If we're not doing that, we're shrinking each other. And that's not what we're here for. God is all about upliftment and expansion. And in order for us to do that, we should work together, men and women alike. We are instilling things into the boys, but what are we doing to the girls is even worse. So the boys aren't getting accountability in their lives. They're emotionally immature, which is causing them to be aggressive, spaz out quickly. And for the young ladies, we can't tell them enough. Be home by a certain hour. At a certain hour, only legs are open. These are the types of conversation we have with girls. We need to stop. We aren't teaching young ladies anything but to protect themselves against men. Why are we not teaching men to be respectful, have self-control, look for keywords and signs when a woman is not interested, how to take rejection. Let's have a class. Young men and women alike, we can have a class about what accountability looks like, things that we can do when we be rejected by a woman or by a man, how to handle ourselves. Because what happened in Brooklyn with the young lady being body slammed, that should not have happened. Over the course of many years, I've seen a repetitive behavior with young men who are emotionally immature. When they are rejected, they tend to get aggressive. At times, they throw bottles. There's been times I've heard them curse out young ladies just because they didn't want to give them their phone number and or have a conversation. And we need to repair this. There's a disconnect that's happening where a young man cannot take rejection from a woman and he feels the need now to disrespect her. A woman not giving you homage or paying you any type of attention is not a cause for you to respond in that way. And we need to be able to teach young men how to respond to women, how to talk to young ladies, and how to approach them better. And when she's not interested, how to say, well, thank you for your time, and keep it pushing. Simple. So I'm asking men and women to take accountability. I'm asking fathers and mothers to take accountability for what you have been doing and what you have not been doing. If you aren't educating your sons about the importance of being respectful towards women, not being handsy with women, not being aggressive with women, not talking down to a woman, then you're not doing the parenthood job. Apparently, you're not parenting. And for those who understand that there is a problem and you want to get your sons in better shape, I will be doing a fully length video on things that we can install into young men so that they can be less aggressive, they can handle rejection, and things about how they can approach a young lady that they're really interested in. You know, it's really not that hard when you have kind words to say to a young lady, like hello, with a nice smile. That can always grab a young lady's attention for the start. So I'm asking everybody, let's be accountable for these young men and women that we're raising. Let's be accountable for what we say to them and understand that we are shaping their future with the things that we tell them. So let's tell them the things that they need to thrive. Got it? Solar Sass is out.